But you mentioned the old Sarah dying, and I feel like that's such an important part I want to highlight is
Mm.
we often identify with whether it's being sick or healing, right? Not I'm not healing, I'm healed, I'm whole. Like that's what healed means is you're whole. You are whole. Unless you're dead, you're whole. So you are healed. We have these things that my teacher calls nofs, which are like these false identities that we kind of like put onto ourselves. It's not like your true essence or your true soul. So a lot of moms will do it like I'm a mom. Well, that's a function and that's a role that's not
Mm.
who your soul is at its essence. So when it comes to like killing the old version of yourself to grow and better yourself and constantly be up leveling, how do you shed those false identities in order to step into the new version of yourself?
Well, that's a really good question. And I think, for me, what I did is, as I kind of mentioned, I went very heavy into the personal development work, but I was doing none of it before. So going
Mhm.
heavy is like reading a book, which I didn't have time to really do before. All the sorts of books I would read would not be the books that I read now. It's funny, someone asked me the other day, like, "Can I see the books that you read?" And I look, because similar to you, I listen to a lot of them, being a podcast producer and host, and they're all personal development books. I'm like, I have just no interest in reading something that isn't like that, because that is what I love. Like, and I couldn't feel more love for that kind of work than I do. So anyway, the first thing I did was go into that. I studied meditation. So I do heaps of different meditations. And that, to me, that has been such a key thing in changing my life. And I know everyone talks about meditation, and people who are listening who might think, oh, I don't have time to meditate, or, I used to think that too. That really was one of the key things that changed my life. And when I started, I was terrible at it. And I thought, this is not for me. Maybe I'm just one of those people that can't meditate. Well, that's not true for anyone, because I believe every single person can meditate. But like anything, you have to give it time. And I think sometimes we're so quick to judge, to say like we can't do that, or we're not good at that, or we have the monkey mind. But you just need to find a meditation that works for you, because I think the ones I initially were doing were like body scan meditations, and I was like, this is so boring, and I didn't like it at all. But then when I found meditations that suited me, I loved them. And I started learning about manifestation many, many years ago. And the concept I spoke about before, which was the visualization technique, that I love doing that. And I really got into that. And that helped me, like the idea that we can create our future reality. I had never heard that before. And so when I learnt about that, I was like, wow, this is so fun. So, you're
Mhm.
making personal development work fun. Like, if you know that you can wake up every morning and create your new future or your life, all your dreams, then of course you're going to get up early before your kids wake up or whatever, to sit in meditation for, even if it's 15 minutes, half an hour, whatever you want to do, to be able to visualize and raise your energy to be able to create the life and dreams that you want. Who wouldn't do that? So
Mhm.
I began really enjoying everything I was doing to do with personal development work. And the more that I got into it, the more I realized, the old Sarah, who may have not watched what she was saying. And, I was always a good person, of course. I knew right from wrong, and I never wanted to ever hurt anyone or anything like that. But I wasn't conscious of the words I was saying. I wasn't conscious of what I was thinking. I was overthinking so much. I would get into these ruts of really, thinking about something that hadn't even happened and ruminating over it. Say it was like an email from my boss, and I'd put a negative tone on it, and then I'd be ruminating over this email and like driving to work already angry, playing out a scenario in my head that had never occurred. So then I'm getting into the office upset with my boss when he didn't do anything, and then I'm creating that negative reality through negative manifestation, which is possible as well. So when I learned all these techniques, then I shed the skin of that old Sarah, who, you nicely mentioned before. The soul is always the same. That doesn't change. The essence of who I am is exactly the same. But the best part of me, my higher self, got to come out and be front and center. And having that, And knowing that I was then moving through life, thinking about what I was doing before I did it, thinking about what I was saying, and doing everything with kind of grace and ease, and being led with a service mindset allowed this kind of new identity, I suppose, to appear. And it has changed my life radically in the most beautiful way possible, and I'm so grateful every day for that. I mean, what a blessing it is to, people ask me about my job, and I'm like, honestly, if I did not get paid for what I do, I probably still do it because it is so fun. Like,
Mhm.
I mean, I used to go to work years ago hating life. And now I go to work every day getting to talk to the most amazing people in the world, getting to do a lot of writing, speaking to audiences. I mean, like, anyone can do this though. I'm no different to anyone else. Like, I would never have envisaged this for myself 10 years ago, but then I created it. So everyone
Mhm.
else has the ability to create it too. And it doesn't matter what background you've come from, what hardships you've had in your life. And obviously everyone's path's different. They might not want this path for themselves, but you are able to create your dreams if you follow these techniques.